welcome to or back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my braces experience. I've had a few people ask me to make this video and I was kind of skeptical because I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but then I ended up writing stuff down and I have a whole list of things that I can talk about in my braces experience. So I have had my braces on for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in like a couple of months, but I was actually supposed to get them off last month in March. Now it's April because of Corona, but they pushed it back 2 months because they're closed. So I get them off in 3 weeks and I'm so excited because I'm so done with braces. But until then, I will share my wisdom with you guys. So I'm just gonna get right into it. The first thing I have is getting them on. The process wasn't bad, but a few days after, I really noticed they were hurting like crazy. I literally got them on the day I was going on a road trip and I was gonna be gone for over a month. And so I was like prepared, I'm gonna get them on, it's gonna be fine. But during the whole road trip, it was hard for me to eat anything. It really hurt even eating like soft foods because they were just so sore. They weren't used to like all the stuff that had been applied to them, I guess. So they were sore probably for 2 to 3 weeks after I got my braces on, which is a long ass time because I was struggling eating everything and it was just miserable. So that's probably the worst part, getting them on, just because they're gonna hurt for a while after, and not being able to eat is the worst thing on the planet. So initially getting them on, it's pretty common to have teeth removed before you get your braces on. So I had to get, okay, so they were like, your wisdom teeth are ready, we could take your wisdom teeth out at the same time we take out all of the unnecessary teeth that you have, because my jaw is super small, so they had to like remove teeth either way. So I was actually lucky enough to be put under to get my teeth taken out because they were taking my wisdom teeth out at the same time. So I had 3 wisdom teeth, so they took 3 wisdom teeth out, and then they took 4 regular teeth. So I had 1 taken out here, and then 2 on the bottom. So I had literally holes in my mouth right here. I'll try and insert a picture if I have one. But I had holes all right here, so I couldn't eat right there. And then I had my wisdom teeth taken out, so I couldn't eat in the back of my mouth either. And it was miserable. Like, getting teeth taken out shouldn't be that bad because usually they'll heal up pretty quick. But the fact that I had 7 teeth pulled out of my face, it was so terrible. I couldn't eat for like, I don't know, probably 2 to 3 weeks. And one of my wisdom teeth holes actually got infected, which is called a dry socket, which only 3% of people get dry sockets after getting their wisdom teeth removed. So of course I got one, and it was just a terrible process. They had to I had to go back and they had to stick gauze in the hole, pack it in there, and I almost passed out. I stood up and I was like so woozy. And then like 3 days later they kept the cotton in there with the they put like medicine on the gauze. So like 3 days later they removed it, but it was terrible. But the whole process of getting teeth removed plus wisdom teeth, that was like really hard. Yeah, getting them on is probably the worst part. It's not really smooth sailing from then on, but it gets better. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about getting them tightened. So I got my braces tightened every 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes earlier, like 5 weeks if they wanted to like check up on stuff, but it's typically 6 to 8 weeks. And I was always so excited for appointments because that means I'm just like getting closer to getting them off and like they're working on them. It like always made me excited going. But during the appointment, they usually last like 30 minutes to an hour. Doesn't take that long. It really depends like what they have planned for you. And the worst part of the appointments are pretty much just like you feel a lot of pressure. So obviously they're not going to be sore right away. They'll be sore the next day typically, but you feel a lot of pressure when they're like yanking on your teeth and stuff. But it really depends what they're doing. But usually they're going to be sore for like 3 to 5 days your first time getting them tightened or whatever, but typically 2 to 3 days once you're used to like getting them tightened and stuff. But it depends what they're doing. Sometimes they'll even take off some of your brackets and like replace them on your tooth. So it depends what they're doing. But then usually they take out the wire on the top and the bottom, and like they can make like bends in the wire. So the appointments aren't really that bad. It's just, I think they're exciting because it just means you're like getting closer to getting them off, and that's the goal. Next, I'm going to be talking about complications and inconveniences, which everybody knows there's like inconveniences with having braces on. First one is just having them. You look kind of 12 years old, so I hate having braces. I'm just ready for them to be off. I think the worst inconvenience I ever had while I've had braces on is one time I was eating at In-N-Out Burger, you know, the fast food, and I was eating my burger and I felt something swallowing really hard, and I was like, oh, like chewing. I was like, what is that? I was like, what the fuck did I just like chew? And then I like swallowed it. I was like, whatever. It's probably just like, I don't know why I swallowed it. I should have spit it out. But then I realized, like, I was feeling around my mouth. I swallowed one of my brackets. The whole entire bracket came off, and I just like ate it. And I was so nervous that I was gonna like, it was gonna come out wrong or something, but it was fine. I guess I digested it fine, but that was terrible. I was so scared. But yeah, swallowing your brackets, I don't think that's common. I just think I'm really stupid, and I managed to have these things happen to me. But that was probably the worst. Another thing that's really annoying is if your teeth are moving super fast, like mine move super fast, the wire is getting longer because your teeth are going together, so the wire is gonna obviously get longer in the back. So it'll get long and then it'll poke you, which is really annoying. And they give you wax for it, but the wax is hard to stick on there because your mouth is like wet, obviously, and then when you put the wax on, it just doesn't stick for very long. And then I've swallowed wax as well, which is really gross. But I don't know, I've never been a fan of the wax, and I'm like, oh my god, they're poking, and they're like, okay, just put the wax on it, and I'm like, can you just fix it? So it is hard to get in like quick. Like if you have a little emergency like that, sometimes they just will be like, suck it up, because they're so like slammed with other kids with braces. So the wires will poke, so I suggest using the wax and trying it and seeing if you like it, but I was never really a fan of it. And then brackets will get loose as well if maybe you eat something hard. One time I was eating like, I think like an apple, which you're not really supposed to bite into apples when you have braces, so it's kind of my fault, but I bit into the apple, and this bracket right here got loose and actually was just kind of dangling on the wire because it was still on there. But that was annoying. I had to deal with that for like 4 days until I could get it like glued back on, so that was really annoying. One problem that I have with my braces to this day is when I sleep, obviously I'm like more dehydrated, so my mouth gets dry, I guess, and the way that I sleep, I don't know, like it pokes all under here. I don't know, it pokes the shit out of me, and like sometimes I would wake up and like my gums are bleeding, which is really annoying because it hurts, and like they'll just be sore throughout the day, like when my brackets like poke the like little holes that they make in my gums. That is so annoying. But I've talked to my friends and they never really had that problem, but I always have indents right on my gums right here because when I sleep it just like pokes them. I don't know, so that's like one really annoying inconvenience. Also, this just happened recently. There's something called a power chain, and it's basically elastic, but they wrap it around your brackets, hold them closer. I don't really know, but I have my power chain on, but since I haven't had an appointment for 3 months now, because I was supposed to get them off and my appointment was last month, but like due to like the coronavirus, I haven't gone in like 3 months. So the power chain is getting weak, and it snapped when I was brushing my teeth a couple nights ago. And I called them and I was like, hey, like I don't know if I should do anything, and they kind of just said like, sorry, you're gonna have to wait till we open back up. So that's really annoying. Just be careful when brushing. If you brush too hard, things like that can happen. They can snap stuff, which is just really annoying. And then the obvious that comes with having braces, food gets stuck so easily. For example, rice. I can't eat it without it getting like, I don't know, something about rice. It gets all stuck up here and underneath, and like you really have to like swish with like water to get it down. And like chips and like stuff like that, like hard foods will get stuck and you won't even notice. You look ridiculous having like food in your teeth, but it's just really annoying. So I always have like a little toothbrush on me or like a toothpick or something, just in case that does happen when I'm out or something. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is having rubber bands on. So getting rubber bands on is not a bad thing. You should be excited to get your rubber bands on because this means you're towards the end of your braces treatment, which is so exciting. So I was so excited when they told me that I was gonna have my rubber bands on. So they'll give you a little package. They'll usually give you like, they gave me like 3 packages of a bunch of little rubber bands every time just to last you, and I never used up all of them. But don't eat with them because they can snap and you can swallow them. I've done it before, it's not fun. So I would try and like sneak in food while I had my rubber bands in, but it never really worked out. Having them in is so annoying though, because you do have to take them out before you eat and then put them back in, and like it's just inconvenient, especially if you're out. It's really gross if you're like at a restaurant and you're trying to take them out. So I always had to remember to take them out before we entered the restaurant, or I would just go to the bathroom and take them out, which obviously is annoying, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And then getting your rubber bands on, the first time I ever got my rubber bands, my teeth were sore for like 5 days, 3 to 5 days. They hurt so bad because like you're pulling your teeth together in a way that's like so unnatural. So like obviously your gums are gonna be sore and stuff. But then after like every time I would go back and get them adjusted in a new way, they were only sore for like 1 to 2 days after. You get used to it. So The rubber bands aren't really that bad. They are exciting to get because they're towards the end of your braces treatment, but they are annoying. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to be talking about is tips and advice when you get your braces on and when you have them. I brush my teeth 3 times a day because you're way more prone to getting cavities and like food stuck and like attacking your enamel all day because it'll get stuck right there. So you're way more prone to like little spots and like stuff like that on your teeth. So I brush mine 3 times a day. Your teeth get way more gross when you have braces on. So I really like to brush a lot. And floss. I was so good about flossing for the first 1.5 years. I would never go to bed without flossing, but then I weaned off, but I'm trying to floss more. You have to get special floss, so there's a way to like wrap it around your teeth if you do use regular floss, but I use these ones that are like oral. They're called like oral flossers or something, and they'll fit in between your brackets. They're like the little sticks, and you can just like do that. So brush 3 times a day, floss. Another thing I like to do, I have props. I always keep okay, my dentist gave me this because my teeth were so bad in the beginning of my treatment. They literally were terrible. So I like had a lot of little spots that food would get stuck in. So she gave me this thing. It's like a pointed tip, but it's like rubber. So I always keep one of these or this little like gum, like this little brush. I always keep one of these in my purse or like in my car or something, just in case I'm out and there's a piece of food that I cannot get out, which is so embarrassing and annoying. So I always keep something like this in my bag on me throughout the day. The next tip I have is wear your fucking rubber bands, because this will speed up the process so much. And I know like everybody says like wear your rubber bands, but it actually is so important because it's basically you're the orthodontist at that point. You're not going to see them for another 8 weeks, so you have to be like in charge of wearing them because that's part of the process as well. I was so good about it. Like all day I would have them in, all night, like I never skipped, and it made the end of my treatment like 2 months faster. So I was supposed to get them off in June for a full 2 years, but since I wore my rubber bands every day, I was able to get them off in March, which still hasn't happened because of coronavirus, but it speeds up the process way faster if you wear your rubber bands. Lastly, just watch the process. I have had so much fun watching my teeth come to be straight because I had such messed up teeth. It was my biggest insecurity. Like I got picked on in school for having like messed up teeth, and it was just so annoying. So watching the process has been so amazing to me. It's made me actually so interested in orthodontistry, and that's actually what I'm considering going to school for. But that's besides the point. Just watch how your teeth will come together. It's so awesome. Like it's crazy. A lot of people are insecure about having messed up teeth, like crooked teeth. So watching braces tie them together is so awesome. And yeah, that's all I really have to talk about today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and for those who asked me to film it, I hope this helped you. If you are getting braces soon, I hope this gave you some insight on how your experience might be. So stay tuned for more videos, subscribe for more, please, and I will see you guys in the next video.